Are they mostly Windows or Mac?
It's mostly Mac actually.
I only ask because you can't actually run the recorder off of a thumb drive without doing a full installation. You just have to have .NET installed on the computer. So if it's Windows Vista or higher on the operating system, you could just plug in a thumb drive, run recorder.exe off of there, and it will launch.
Okay.
But I don't think you need admin rights to run it. You just need admin rights to install.
You're just talking about it. You need admin rights to install the framework.
Well, right. So, but as long as
the framework is there.
If .NET 3.5 SP1 or higher is there, then you can just run it. Which that comes with. That's built into Windows Vista and higher. So,
yeah.
But if you have XP where they don't have .NET, then you've got a lot. But if it's a Windows machine, Mac, I don't think you can do the same on Mac. It's a DMG that you have to actually drop into the OS.
Well, if it's just an app bundle, then that usually often doesn't require Mac privileges, although it's not typically an issue with Mac. So.
Okay, good. Hopefully. So yeah, so if we can do that on Mac, then on the Windows side, again, with those requirements, if those are there, you can run it off the top. So that might work as a workaround in the interim.
Can I help you with even more questions?
Yeah, please.
What if you had external video streams like the video file that was recorded by the Polygon system? Can you bring that into a recorded Panopto session?
That is a great question. So we,
yeah, no, but I probably should have mentioned that. Yeah, we have two products. We have 90% of what we're going to talk about today is Panopto Focus. That's our traditional lecture capture product. But we have another product called Unison, which is an ingest product, which allows you to ingest third-party content and manage it from the Panopto platform.
So that's sort of an add-on to your.
It's a separately licensed product, but it's all built into the same. It's just licensed separately. But if you have the license and you enable it, you open up our editor, which we're going to show next year. You have these video files. You can just drag them into a session, and then you can put it online. If you want to then align a PowerPoint slide deck with it, you can even take that in and align the slides, so it looks like some of the recordings that Kevin did. So you can take a flat video file, PowerPoint presentation, and drop them all in and create a.
So in a room that's not equipped with cameras or something, if someone had a camcorder,
somebody gets it recorded, and it's a really high profile recording. You do no way of setting up a recorder. Somebody just puts it on camera. You have it on a flash drive. You can ingest that later into the Panopto system.
Now, before we, I don't know, you guys show another example?
I was going to show that broadcast.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, good. So that broadcast can come up. So all that you want to do to enable that is check the box for broadcast and record. This is still recording all the files to the disk on your computer. So if you're on a spotty wireless connection or something kicks out your network cable, we're still going to actually do the broadcast will be interrupted or might end, but the recording will still be complete on your computer. We can upload it and it'll be available on demand after the fact. But that's all you do is check that box for broadcast, and then you get a URL down here.
Now that URL that's created, you can actually create that weeks in advance if you schedule the recording.
Yeah.
So
that URL, that's just open. So right now, anyone who wants, you can jump in and watch your.
Anybody that has access to the 12F SYS 2001 course, which is pushed through Sakai. So right now, pretending that was a real course, it's just a test one. Anyone that can log in through Sakai and gain access to that can watch it. If you make it public, then that's public to the internet, and anybody anywhere can watch it. But
so you can make it public.
You can make it public, but by default, everything's private. If you want to make your course public, then you just check the box, and it becomes public. So that is awesome.
But
very entertaining.
Would work for you as a Sakai student would have to be credentialed.
Right. So for me, I mean, my question is, if I have a department that has maybe, or let's say a center here, who has some people who are actually directly related and have an ID, and some people who are out in the community that are working with the center. So I can make it public and I can stream it and they can jump on like any other sort of.
Yeah, or we actually have another, if you have a private recording you want to share with somebody outside the institution, through our share feature, you can actually share a private recording and we place a token at the end of that URL, and that would allow them to watch it, so that way you wouldn't have to create credentials. Okay, yeah.
Are you able to output to SCORM compliant material?
That's a great question. So we do have a SCORM option where you can, if you have it enabled on your server, I'm not sure if it is enabled on UVA's server here, but if you enable it, you can download a manifest for the session and then put it into a SCORM compliant LMS or CMS, and then from there you can then click on it and it does the various tracking of the if you completed the session, how long it was, etc. So this is a live broadcast. I'm getting a nice Hall of Mirrors effect because I'm recording and watching on the same computer. But we're about 10 to 15 second delay. Do count when I wave there. Should seem to come up in a few seconds.
We build a delay to deliver quality.
Right. So that would be a useful way of. You guys must have good weather down here, right? But if you do have a snow day or inclement weather and you want to do a live broadcast out to your students from home, you can do that using that feature. We're going to go ahead and end that. And we'll jump out and show the editor. Is there anything else everyone wants to see in the recorder? Any questions, any other features or scenarios we want to talk about?
What's the maximum length of recording time per session? Is there a maximum?
There's not a maximum. We said you definitely want to try to keep them under, or keep them to one recording session. Some customers where the goal is just record for 12 hours straight in a classroom, and then in our editor you can then go up and carve it out into this was the first class. You get a unique URL. This is the second class. You get a unique URL. The downside of that is there's post-production work. You have a really long recording where at any point somebody, if the batteries die on your any devices that you're using, or if anything happens there, then you might end up losing data. So it's fairly easy to start and stop each session. You name them individually, but there's no limit other than running out of disk space theoretically on your computer. But there's no actual limit to it. Yes.
I see questions from viewers down there.
Yes.
Does it tell you who's watching?
It doesn't tell you who's watching. Thank you for bringing that back up. I mean, let's open the broadcast. We'll just show you what happens when somebody does ask a question. You do get a notification. So this is the viewing aspect. So let's from a student. We'll ask a question. And it should pop up here short in the lower right hand corner. So that if you do have remote students that are watching, you won't get a visual indicator that the question has been asked. And then you can open up the recorder and see the list of all the questions down at the bottom. And if you have a lot of questions, you can actually start to scroll back up. If you have 30 questions that pile up and you want to stop and answer them halfway through, you can do that.
Does it tag the person who sent it?
So you can
From
see
their
that
account?
It's collab, and then it's Lila's email. So it's whatever the username is who's logged in and watching it, you'll see it then. So you can see that, like, I say every question from Lila.
So if a teacher wanted to get an idea of who all was there when the session starts, to say everybody send a question?
Yeah, send a question or check in and say I'm here.
Gotcha.
And then that will give them a quick check. And we also have viewing statistics that get generated after the recording that you can go in and look and see who watched, which it'll track their time if they're watching the live broadcast, but you only see that after the recording is done. There's not a way to see who else is viewing live, so that'll be one way. Okay, that was a good question. Anything else in the recorder before we jump out and show the editor? Okay, so right here from the recorder, so as Jeff mentioned earlier, the editing is completely web-based. So even though I launched that from the recorder, we're just going to a URL. So you don't have to load that you don't have to edit from the computer that you captured from. That's a really important point where some people think that you have to go back to the classical computer where you captured it from. It's entirely web-based. It's going to work in any of our supported web browsers, which is IE8, IE9, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, across Mac or PC. You can load the editor. You set that Silverlight installed, which if you don't, it will prompt you to install. I'm going to play. You can see that the video window up here, we degrade the quality on purpose just because it's just a video preview in the editor, so we make that lower quality so that it buffers a little more quickly, you can navigate around faster, your end result will look better than that. This is just for editing. So I'm going to hit play. So if you watch the red line down there in the timeline, I don't know if you can see, that just shows where I am in the recording. It just gives you a visual representation of where you are in the editor timeline. It comes to tell here 15 seconds in. And I'm going to hit pause. So the primary use case with editing is usually I want to cut a little bit off the beginning, a little bit off the end, some portion out of the middle. The easiest way to do that, so you can see that we have these handles. I don't know if it's showing up really well on with the projector backdrop here, but there's a little yellow handle there. It's similar to if anybody's done any editing on an iOS device, if you do any trim, they just have little handles on there, you can just drag it in. You cut a little bit of the video off. So I'm going to take my mouse, I'm going to left mouse click on this handle, and I'm just going to drag this in a little bit. So that cuts the beginning. This cuts a little bit off the end. And if I want to cut something out of the middle, let's say, so another important thing to point out here is this is a audio histogram, so it shows kind of the peaks and valleys of when you were speaking. So anytime there's a long flat line is usually something that you probably want to cut out. So I can see I moved the red line over to here. So if I hit play, that would give me an audio preview of that part of the recording. So I can tell I'm not capturing audio here. So I want to cut that whole section out of the middle. I left mouse click on the scissors icon one time. See that makes this blank line. But I can then choose my starting point in this timeline. So I left mouse click again to set my start point. You can see this is giving me a preview of my cut that I'm going to make. So I'm going to drag that to about right there. Hit it again, and I've now cut that out of the timeline. So what I'm keeping are the highlighted sections. I'm keeping that, and I'm cutting the sections that are grayed out of the recording. As Jeff said earlier, this is entirely non-destructive. So if you hit save, it encodes, you get an email, you watch it, and realize you did this completely wrong, you cut out 10 minutes of valuable lecture time. You can go back and you can reclaim this very easily. You just reload it, you come back in, drag the handle, and you can merge the two cuts back together.
So are you separating out the audio track and video?
There's not right now, so we are recording it as, if you're recording on Mac, it's no MV file, on Windows it's a WMV file, so it is combined audio and video into one file.
If you save it as a MPEG-4, then you can take it back out into an MPEG-4 editor.
Right, so yeah, that's, and
you don't get to come back into the viewer.
With our tools, we don't separate out the audio track. There are a variety of third-party tools that allow you to split those out, but that's not something that we have natively built into the software. Just whenever you're done, so this is a nice option that I always recommend to people is as you're editing, if you're doing a lot of heavy editing in a session, you can save and continue, so you can commit your changes in case your internet goes out of your house or you have your browser crashes or something happens. You don't want to lose your work, so if you're paranoid like me and you want to save every 5 minutes, just in case, you can do that. And then if you're done, you just hit save and quit. It's going to close out of the editor session and pop you back into your web interface. Let's open a session that has PowerPoint. There we go. So you can see that this is the table of contents that get automatically created. And they get time stamped automatically, so 8 seconds in, that's when I showed this slide, 15 seconds in, that one. This is what we automatically create. If you don't like the text that we're creating, you have an option to edit that after the fact. So if you want to